Hello, and welcome to Sprinkle Stories and Travels, where memories, life lessons and journeys come alive. Today, I am taking you back to one of the strangest, most mysterious and most unforgettable stories from my childhood. In the small community where we lived, there was a pathway people regularly used when traveling to the town center and neighboring towns. Along that route stood two enormous trees, side by side. They were impossible to miss. The elders in our community told us that these were not ordinary trees. They were gods. And not only were they gods, they were truly married to each other. We grew up believing every word of that story. To us, they were not simply two large trees standing beside the pathway. Whenever we had to pass that way, something changed inside us. Even if we had been laughing, playing and talking loudly, our voices became quieter as soon as the trees came into view. Our footsteps became quicker. From a distance, we could already see the two enormous trees ahead of us. The closer we came to them, the faster we moved. And when we finally reached them, we ran. Not a quick walk. We ran as though our lives depended on it. This did not happen only at night. We ran past those trees even in broad daylight. We did not stop. Only then would we slow down, catch our breath and continue towards our intended destination. Sometimes, one of us would look back. But only briefly. No one wanted to be the last child standing near the two married gods. As children, we believed what our elders told us. We did not ask for evidence. The trees were gods and were married because the elders said so, and that was enough for us. At that age, understanding was not important. Believing was. The two trees were not the only things that frightened us. We were also told that vultures could be witches. Whenever we saw vultures sitting on a tree or circling in the sky, we became afraid. To us, they were not simply large birds. We remembered what we had been told and kept our distance. Owls also carried their own mystery. Because owls are mostly active at night, seeing one sitting on a tree during the day felt unusual. We did not ask questions. The stories became real through the things we saw around us. Before we eventually left the community, however, we had grown a little older. By then, we had witnessed both traditional marriage ceremonies and church weddings in the community. We had seen families gathering. We had seen witnesses, celebrations, food, music and dancing. That was when I slowly began to think about the two trees. If they were truly married, who performed their marriage ceremony? Was it a traditional marriage or a church wedding? Who were their witnesses? Did people gather around them to celebrate? What vows did the trees exchange? And perhaps the most interesting question of all, did they have children? The older I became, the more questions entered my mind. But I never asked any of them aloud. I wanted answers, but not that badly. So the questions remained safely inside my mind. The trees never chased us. They never called our names. They never moved from where they stood. Yet the stories surrounding them were powerful enough to make us run past them, even in broad daylight. Looking back now, I sometimes laugh at the memory. I imagine those two trees standing there peacefully, providing shade, surviving storms and watching generations of children race past them. That is the power of childhood belief. When a story is repeatedly told by people you trust, an ordinary place can become extraordinary. Two trees can become married gods. A bird can become something mysterious. A quiet pathway can become somewhere no child wants to walk alone. As children, nature never seemed empty or silent. Every tree, bird, river, rock, forest and pathway appeared to carry a story. Today, if I see owls sitting on trees, I will not respond with the same childhood fear. I will admire them. I now understand that owls are mostly nocturnal birds and that seeing one during the day may be unusual, but it is still part of nature. When I see a vulture, I also see a bird with its own place and purpose in the natural world. Growing older has changed the way I understand such sights. But it has not erased the memories or the stories that shaped my childhood. Interestingly, there are two enormous trees very close to where I live now, although they are in a completely different country. Not far from a small tourist forest nearby, which is also filled with huge trees. Some of the trees in the forest are even bigger than the two trees we believed were married. I have visited the forest several times. It is always lovely to see people arriving with their cameras, walking their dogs and parking their cars nearby before entering. There are large rocks where visitors can sit, and proper seats have also been provided so people can relax and enjoy the surroundings. Attractive information boards explain the history of the place, helping visitors understand and appreciate what they are seeing. The whole environment feels peaceful, welcoming and interesting. Whenever I see the two enormous trees near my home or walk through that little forest, what do you think comes into my mind? I remember the two mysterious trees from my childhood, the trees we believed were gods and truly married. In my new environment, I see people come closer to enormous trees. They take photographs. They walk their dogs. They sit on the rocks and benches. They admire the trees and learn about the history of the place. The trees from my childhood stood along a pathway surrounded by stories that filled us with fear. Today, I can stand beneath enormous trees and admire their beauty. But childhood memories never completely fade. They remain quietly within us, waiting for a familiar tree, bird, sound or place to bring them back. That is why I wanted to share this story with you today. Perhaps there was a mysterious tree in your community. Perhaps you were told something about an owl or a vulture. Perhaps it was a river, a forest, a rock or a pathway surrounded by stories and warnings. What stories did you hear while growing up? What did you believe? And what comes into your mind when you remember those stories today? Let us share our childhood memories. Let us remember those innocent moments. And let us continue putting smiles on one another's faces. Thank you for watching Sprinkle Stories and Travels. Please like, comment, share and subscribe for more memories, true stories and travel experiences. Until next time, keep learning, keep traveling, keep enjoying the little stories that make life beautiful. Stay inspired. Take care.